So, okay, our first concern was this. We know that the traditional tests are very difficult to apply in practice. We have counter-movement jump or maximum voluntary contractions that we know that the players, normally player buy-in is not so high. They can be a bit invasive, especially when we want to test after the match, because sometimes the output of the match, the final result also influence the motivation of the athletes. So what we like in Myocene was exactly that, as Rafael already said. We don't need, we are not dependent on the motivation of the subject to test fatigue. And that was something new for us, and we wanted to test. So as we had no reference, this is a quite new device, our first concern was to analyze the sensitivity of Myocene to the match load. Is this device sensitive enough to obtain real values from the match, and to understand the magnitude of these values? As Rafael said, okay, we have a drop of 4 or 3 points. Is this enough to make any decision? So you wanted to understand that. And after this step, we wanted to analyze the Myocene protocol specifically in congested periods, because it makes sense to do it to test fatigue in these congested periods, to know if the players recovered enough to participate in the next coming training sessions. And we wanted to do it in match day +1, because we use other measures, so we don't want the players to be in test all the days or at the same time with different measures. So we want to test fatigue as soon as possible in match day +2, and then we can complement these tests with other biometrical data or biomarkers in the match day +2. And this was done to decide if in congested periods the players are able to participate in the match training session +2. That is very important in congested periods. Okay, so what we have here is something that we are still doing, is in fact is part of the Sandor thesis. We are trying to validate the system. And so we analyze the pre-value after the match. And then we analyze, I don't know if here, 30 minutes after the match, and we can see a slight decrease in this example. And then 24 hours, okay, he almost recovered in 24 hours, and then we analyze 48 hours after the match, and we can see that the Myocene was sensitive to the load. There was a slight decrease, almost 3 points in each leg, and the athlete was completely recovered after 48 hours. We have another example here. Pre-match value, again, post-match value, 30 minutes after the match, and then in this case we missed the 24 hours analysis, and we have again the 48 hours. We can see that again the Myocene was sensitive to the load. The decrease was much higher, okay, and we can see a slightly fatigue still in the right leg. Okay, so for us, what we assume is that, okay, as the magnitude of decrease in Myocene increases, maybe we cannot have a complete recovery at match day +2, for instance. So it depends on the magnitude of decrease in the match. So here we have the examples. Now in the first team, we have to assess the pre-value. Okay, you know, it's difficult to assess the pre-value after the match, so we use the preseason to do that. We have made several tests to assess a value that we assume that is without fatigue. So baseline to compare, and then after a match, 24 hours after the match, and we can see that the player was able to complete recover. But in the other match, we see that the player did not recover. So in this case, our intervention was, we can assume that this is because of the match load that was much higher in this game than the other one, but it's just an assumption, okay? Several factors influence fatigue. But for us, our decision is, okay, in the first game, we have the player ready to participate in in the training session of match day +2 with the team, but in the other game, in the second game, maybe he's not ready to participate in in the training session, so we need to increase or to enhance the recovery modalities. Here we have another example, a different one. The pre-value, you can see that the pre-value was obtained not after the match, but in match day +2, which was the highest value that we obtained in this athlete. And then we can see after the first match, he was able to recover in the left leg, almost, but he did not recover in the right leg. And the same happened 4 days after this match, okay, the same pattern. So here we try to discover what happened. He didn't have a previous injury that explained this, but it happened, so he was not able to participate in match training session +2. And we enhanced the recovery modalities, and of course we need to do something, maybe play an intervention to increase the fatigue resistance of the right leg, but of course we cannot do it in the congested period. We will do it in the next uncongested period. Okay, and that's it. Those were the examples.
Yeah. That's what. Okay. Thank you.